just the supporters and channel member Ole Gunnar Kvam. I don't know why I bother sometimes. I worked so hard to drag us back within our wage budget again. I achieved it. We were within wage budget for about a week. And the board lowered my wage budget even further. So now we're over budget and failing that objective again. I think they figured out my antics with the scouting thing earlier in the year. And basically have now decided to take both away. So I have no scouting budget and I'm over wage budget again. And we still don't have what I would consider to be a full squad. If we don't get promoted this year, there may be some financial repercussions of that. And welcome to part 18 of Wembley to Wembley. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have very important league games for you. We're at home against Burnham and away against Ascot United. Since you were last with me, we've played quite a few games. It's the third season at this level. I'm keen to not drag each season out for 8 to 10 episodes if we're just doing the same league over and over again. Obviously, as and when we get promoted, we'll slow things down again and have more episodes per season. But I figure once you hit that third year in a league, we want to get the seasons down to 4, 5, 6 episodes a season max, just because otherwise you're just seeing us play and lose the same matches over and over again. I say play and lose. We actually started the season quite well. If you have a look at the shape of our season, we were as high as second just a few matches ago, but we then hit a little bit of a rough patch where we lost to Holyport, we lost to Flackwell Heath, we got knocked out. We drew with Enfield, got knocked out of the FA Vase. We'd previously already been knocked out of the FA Cup. And no, we got knocked out of the Cherry Red Records thing. We're still in the FA Vase. It's complicated. Either way, we've not won in the league for 3 matches now, which leaves us just outside the playoffs. Remember, the board are just looking for me to finish in the top half, even though pre-season they said playoffs, top half. So the board are quite happy with what we're doing, other than the fact that we're over wage budget again because they've lowered it even further, despite me getting rid of loads of players on loan, some of them only on 5-month loans as well. So this is very much a temporary solution for some of these boys. But we have managed to bring a few new players in and we are starting to shape a squad. So Elliot Champness has come in. He's an English central midfielder, came in from Wroxham and has come in and looks quite good in our new diamond system, playing as one of the central midfielders. Played 5 games now, looks very lively, looks like a decent signing. Sam Goth is another central midfielder. He can play as an attacking midfielder as well. He's on loan from Witham. We've not had much of a chance to look at him yet. He's basically been involved in this run of rough form, so we can probably blame him for it. And then I finally have a full-size goalkeeper. Luke Carullo is a 19-year-old English goalkeeper. He is 6'5", and you can't teach that. 3 stars of current ability, 5 stars of potential, means he is better than Harry Dillon and will be our new starting keeper. He's not actually played a league game for us yet. He did play in that cup game that we've just played and lost on penalties, but he is going to make his league debut today. Spent the whole season last year out on loan at Bierstead, who of course are another team that I went to visit in person during the Wembley to Wembley FA Cup series that I did earlier in the year. So nice little bit of LOLLUJO channel connections there. But bottom line, we need a win today. Burnham also had a decent start and have drifted down. So their shape of their season is very similar to ours. Only one of us can burst back up into the playoffs today. The most likely scenario is probably neither of us, and it's a draw. But I'd like to think we can win this football match, and this is the team we're going to put out there to try and do that. New boy Carullo making his league debut in goal, and then a back four of Chadder, and now fit again Remy Dallison. Having him unavailable wasn't ideal. He's only made that 1 league start, and we did struggle with not having him available. We were playing Fernandez at centre-back, which meant our midfield wasn't exactly right. We do need to sign another centre-back. We still haven't managed to do that. We're trying, believe me, I've tried for several, but Dallison, Drakos and Gray make up the rest of the back four. Fernandez can now finally return to central midfield, where he's supposed to be playing after a long run of being forced to play at centre-back because of Dallison's injury. Then Whittaker and Champness ahead of him. Goff then in behind Beattie and Bayliss. Let's get the team submitted. Canerva and Pearce haven't been quite as all-conquering as they looked like they were going to be in the first league game of the season. Almost as if that team we played on the first day weren't very good. I refuse to commit to that. We've got over 100 people in the ground today. Where are they? That team that we thumped on the first day. They're not a million. Where are they? Are they up this end of the league? No, I don't know. I can't even find them. Yeah, I don't know which ones they are. Oh, is that? No. Either way, Bayliss has scored. So let's worry about what's going on in this match, because if we can win this match, that would be super, because Burnham, like I say, had a similar start to us. And this is very good work from BT, and then a lovely cross from Gray, and Bayliss is there to nod it home. And that is basically the prototype for how we want goals to be scored this season. Crosses aiming at Bayliss, and then let him do the rest, because he's a big boy. And fingers crossed, if we can do that a little more often than we have been, and cut out some of the goalkeeping mistakes with our new big boy at the back, we might just stand a chance. I mean, as you saw from that in-play league table, as it currently stands, we're second in the league again. That's lovely work from Carollo. Look at him. He's enormous, and that was great. And now, is he any good at distribution? I mean, that's not too bad, is it? We didn't win the ball, but that was more to do with Bayliss not really challenging for it than it being poor distribution. Dallison knows to just give it short to anyone nearby, and Goff probably should have done a little bit better with it there than he has done. And it's Burnham who are on the attack again here. It's going to be another chance for Carollo to show what he can do, not save that. I was hoping it would be a cross. I feel like a high cross, and he just eats them for lunch. Has a lovely time with it. But maybe at 6'5", he's going to be a little bit susceptible. Always the opposite problem to Dylan. He might be a little susceptible to these snapshots that come in low, because he's got to get down to him. And he did not move. His reflexes, his reaction, very slow there. And he's waving his arms around as if it's someone else's fault. I've said it multiple times in this series now. Goalkeepers at this level are just going to be rubbish. I think we just have to accept goalkeepers aren't going to be any good. If we find one who can do one thing, like catch crosses, for example, he's not going to be able to do another thing, like stop shots. We're not going to get... If there's a goalkeeper who can do everything, he's not going to be playing in tier 9, is he? I mean, that really applies to everyone in every position. That's why you can't get anyone who's like a well-rounded player. You just have to kind of pick which good thing you want from a player and then try and have them that complement each other. It's why I quite like BT and Bayliss together, even though Canerva's the best finisher that we've got. Bayliss is better in the air, and BT just works harder, gets around the pitch more, much better as a pressing forward, as he's showing again here, drifting out wide. Is he going to drop it back to Gray again? No, this time he goes into Champness, who gives it to Gray. We've gone the complicated way, but the cross does come in from Gray. Less effective from the touchline there than he would be if he'd have crossed from deep. He's going to try. I thought he was going to float one in. He's given it to Champness, in fact, and that is a lovely goal from Elliot Champness. Lovely, lovely stuff. Josh Gray involved again. He is quickly becoming our key player up and down that right-hand flank for us. He's really blossoming as a footballer this year, and just very. I mean, I think it's because we're playing a little bit narrower further forward without having the two attacking midfielders who they would tend to drift wide. That attacking width is coming from one of the strikers peeling off, usually BT. But he's doing that further forward, so it allows Gray a little bit more space to run into. We're seeing it on the other side with Chadder as well, but Chadder's just not quite as good as Gray is. But they're both getting a lot of space and getting into attacking positions a lot and causing teams problems. But that is what I like about BT. Wins the ball back again, constantly on the defenders. And now Fernandez to Whittaker, and Goff plays it into Champness, who's had a good game so far, but gives the ball away there. But BT wins it back, and BT scores. And that's a 6th goal of the season for George BT, and this is much more like it. This is a performance from us today, 3-1 against a Burnham side who, despite being top of the league, when I decided this was going to be the match 2 or 3 matches ago, I decided this is where we were going to do the episodes. At the time, we were 1st and 2nd, and I thought it was going to be a top of the table clash, but Burnham seemed to be in free fall, and meanwhile we are climbing our way back up the league, although Rayner's Lane look like they're already running away with things a little bit. What business does he have trying an overhead kick in Tier 9. Frankly, that should be a yellow card at this level of football because he's got no business trying that. That is just reckless and dangerous play because the chances of him making a clean contact with the ball are close to zero. So really, he's just putting his feet in a dangerous area, even if there's no player there. Keep your feet at the feet below your head. That should be a rule at this level. It's just dangerous. Goodness me. 3-1 at half-time, though. This has been an excellent start, and fingers crossed, we don't now find a way to throw it all away. What on earth are these latest scores? Have we got Brazilian latest scores on? Oh, God. I mean, yeah. Which one's ours? Where is it? We'll keep Brazil on. We'll just keep up to date with what's going on in Brazil. What's the harm? Because that's absurd. Trying to find. I mean, what league are we even in? I don't know what it's called. It's got counties in the name. I think it's not the Eastern Counties. Right, I think it's got Northern in the name despite being in the South. I remember thinking that's a bit weird. Right, O'Sullivan's going to come on and we're also going to bring on Dom Pierce. Swap those two around like that while I continue to work out what league we're in. I have no idea. We'll have a look after this match and we'll try and get that sorted. But I look at it so infrequently. I imagine it's been off all season and you've probably been... I have noticed people mention it in the comments from time to time and then always forget to change it. O'Sullivan! Oh, that was a good effort and a good save from the Burnham goalkeeper. And now they're looking to get a counter-attack up and running. But Drakos doing very well to win that back. He is the breakout star of this season from the most recent youth intake. He looks very, very good. And now we've got a free kick on the edge of the area. It's Dom Pierce to take. We've already seen him score one in an episode this season. He very nearly got another one because that's the crossbar. I don't think the keeper's touched that. He hasn't. It's a goal kick. Dom Pierce millimetres away from scoring another great free kick. We've got a couple of youngsters who can do that. Rossetti can hit them with the other foot. It's quite handy having these youngsters who can hit a free kick. And then we're going to take off Fernandez as the final change. Wilson can come on for him. Fernandez getting a well-deserved rest after playing all those consecutive matches out of position. He's now gone back into his position today. And strangely, we've looked really solid again with him playing there. And look at that from Carrillo. I like him already. Safe hands. I mean, he's just big. If they're not going to be any good, at least make them big. They'll feel more of the goal that way. Right, Champness heads the ball up into the air. O'Sullivan turns with it, gives it back to Champness, and now Chadder trying to demonstrate that we are threatening on both sides. Floats the ball across. Dom Pierce he's hit the crossbar again. He's hit that crossbar twice in the 15 minutes he's been on the pitch. He's desperate for a goal today. He loves to show off for you lot. He wants you to buy a shirt with his name on. O'Sullivan. He's going to take the corner. I presume we're aiming at Bayliss or Drakos. They're the big boys that we normally aim at. I mean, it does aim at Drakos. Beatty can't get there from the clearance that comes all the way back to Chadder. And I think that's probably the end of the highlight. And I thought it was going to be the end of the match, but it's not. We've got one more corner. It's going to be O'Sullivan again. There is nobody at the near post. So guess where this corner's going? O'Sullivan hits it. Unbelievably, he's hit it at the near post just to make me look like an idiot, and we've scored from it. Champness gets on the end of it. I mean, that's quite a well-worked set piece because there was nobody. Where that ball's gone, there was nobody. And then by the time the ball is there, we've got three players. So there's been some great movement from our attackers there, and Champness gets his second of the game. That's 4-1. That has been a much more resounding victory than I expected today, and we are right back up the business end of the league table where we're supposed to be. So forget your money troubles. We're going to get promoted. I've decided. So next up then, Ascot United, who seem to be constantly being moved around leagues. I don't think these are promotions and relegations necessarily. Okay, that one's a relegation and they've ended up there, but that's our level. And now they're in our league, the Combined Counties League Premier North. I knew it had North in the name. So they are new to the league this year, finishing 7th in one of the parallel levelled leagues last year. Presumably that means geographically they're quite far away. I mean, they've started the season okay. They're in mid-table, roughly level with where Burnham are, who we've just absolutely thumped, and they're expected to finish there as well. But let's find out a little bit more about Ascot United. Specifically, this is where they are. In my head, I think I've spent years confusing Ascot with Aintree because of the horse racing, because I thought Ascot was in Liverpool. It's not, but there's Ascot Racecourse. This explains why the Queen always used to go to this one, because it's right near where her house was. You can see Heathrow Airport there. Wowzers, Heathrow Airport's big on the map. Let's have a look at Ascot United. Oh, wow, it is. This is all very green. So where's the racecourse? There's the golf course. Is that, where do the horses run around? There's a cricket club, and then in amongst all of these fancy sporting locations, you've got this tiny little football club, including a mini football pitch as well. And it looks like a lovely location. It doesn't look like there's anyone who lives anywhere nearby. You keep the riffraff away. I don't know that they're going to let us into Ascot. Are we even allowed to? We can't even get down onto the roads. Where's the nearest road that they let the Google car? Absolutely nowhere near. I mean, can we see from this little gap here on what presumably is, look at the size of these houses. Is this a main road? Can we see through here? There's a gap in the fence. Can we see through the gap in the fence? I think that's the horse racing place. I think we can see the horses, but there's no sign of a football pitch. There's chopped wood there. What kind of place is this? Right, can we try and get in from the other side? Is there any mention, do we think, of the football team? Right, hold on. Right, we've got the Royal Ascot Golf Club. There's a brown sign there. Does it mention football on it? Are they even relevant to Ascot? It does mention football. So Ascot Racecourse, Golf Course, Football, Cricket, and the Locomotives. I'm quite interested in the Locomotive Society. I'll level with you. Right, you come through here. So this is just like this entire massive, amazing sporting complex. I'm not even seeing any floodlights yet. So I don't know where the football team is. This feels like the wrong direction. Oh, no, hold on. Welcome to Ascot United. Okay. I mean, that looks... This is... Lads. All you've got here is a football pitch. I think you've put the sign in the wrong place. Unless further down here... No. Well, apparently that is Ascot United. The pitch could use some work. So difficult conditions for an away game. This is the team we're sending there. Carullo in goal. A back four, Chadder, Dallison, Drakos and Gray. Fernandez at the base of the midfield. Whittaker and Champness ahead of him. Goff then behind Beattie and Canerva. Got to keep pushing Canerva. We have signed another player, Jay Young. He's another attacking midfielder. We don't really need him. I was more interested in the fact that he can play wide as well. We've now got a few players who can play wide. So if we decide we want to do that at some point, we do have the option to switch to it mid-match, even if we want to. Russ Eddy, Anton Canerva, Whittaker, and now new boy Young, Jay Hards. Lots of players who can play wide if we decide we need to do that at some point. I know we need a centre-back. I can't find one who wants to sign for us. Every time I try, you then get another 3 or 4 clubs who come in for them as well, and they just go to one of the other clubs. It's like Football Manager decided, hey Kev, you're not getting any more centre-backs. Make do with what you've got. You shouldn't have got rid of all those good ones you had last year, you silly goose. But, by the way, here, have another attacking midfielder. They're 10 a penny and all very happy to come to you. It's raining, which is quite handy. Looking at how dry the pitch looked in real life, a little bit of rain's probably going to do him good, and that's a good ball across from Canerva. I don't know that he's aiming for Champness there. I think he's probably looking for Beattie, and we probably would have got a more positive outcome if it had gone to Beattie, because Champness didn't really look like he'd made a proper contact. How have they had a shot on target but on 0xG? Where on earth did they shoot from for their shot to not count for any XG at all? I don't think I've ever seen that before. That must have been the worst shot in football history. For some reason, didn't warrant a highlight. We've actually got the correct league on now. I didn't do that. It's done that automatically. I don't know why we're the only team playing today. Maybe the match has been moved because of horse racing or cricket or that guy who was digging up his vegetable patch. Maybe, I don't know, maybe he moved it. but we're playing on what even day of the week is it? It seems like we're playing early compared to most of the league, and it would be quite nice for us to grab a goal and close down some of that gap on Reyners Lane. Fernandez has hit the crossbar there. He's bobbling around in the area, and there is Champness, and he's scored again. And what a signing he's turning out to be. It's 1-0 to Wembley, and that is a hugely important goal when it comes to us keeping that pressure on Reyners Lane. We don't want to be messing around with the playoffs again. Oh, my word. Champness had 3 bites of the cherry there and somehow still managed to get it into the back of the net. We want to go up as champions. No playoffs for us this year, please and thank you. And as it stands right now, we're 2 points behind Reyners Lane. Obviously, they do have the game in hand. They do have the superior goal difference as well. But we're starting to put together a little run of form again. I don't want to speak too soon because there's always a chance for the game to come and kick me in the nuts. But as it stands right now, it looks like we might be starting to turn around our form, which is delightful. Right, we're going to make a couple of changes. We've got so many attacking midfielders, it makes sense to bring one of those on. Try a different one. Bayliss is going to come on for BT, and we try Bayliss and Canerva together, which we have done a couple of times. As I continue to... Basically, the 3 of them are really good, and we can play any 2 from the 3 in pretty much any combination, and it seems to work. Champness is tired, so Dom Pearce can come on for him as our final change. That's pretty easy to do. And now we've got a corner, and we've got the big boys loading into the penalty area, but apparently they didn't do anything with it. We had 6 corners today. I don't remember seeing any of them actually happen in a highlight. I think it's time to sack the set piece coach. He doesn't seem to know what he's doing. Talking of the set piece coach, if we concede from this, I'm going to be very upset. But we've got a counter attack on. It's Dom Pearce, and if he can find the right pass here, he could potentially put Canerva in. I think that's Canerva. In the end, he's realised we're 1-0 up. Let's just take our time. And Pearce still leading attack. It's a lovely ball to O'Sullivan. It falls to Chadder. Oh, we've had some chances there in the closing moments of the game. That was lovely work from Dom Pearce. Showed his maturity. A 3-year veteran of the team now. And now O'Sullivan with the corner. We're loading that near post. So it's probably going to the far post because they like to confuse me. I moan about not getting a corner in a highlight, and then we immediately get one. Let's score from it, shall we? Cross comes in, straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. The 90th minute is very quickly approaching. That should be that. There's 4 minutes of time added on. We've absolutely dominated them for XG. I don't really want to see any more highlights at this point because I don't see how any of them are going to end positively. Gray very much taking his time with the throw, gives it to Pearce. Now Whittaker. Gray back to Pearce again. Pearce has looked very good since coming on once again. And Chadder from range, but it's straight at the keeper. And Ascot have got 2.5 minutes to go and ruin my day completely against the run of play. We've been so comfortably the better team, but it's with Dom Pearce again, and this time he gives it to Bayliss, who's been left unmarked. Bayliss bursts into the area, and that's a very good save from the Ascot keeper. And I think we're going to get another corner in a highlight. It is us just relentlessly pressurising the opponents in these final minutes of the game. I would be just as happy just to see the final whistle now. I don't need the stress of highlights going on, and their keeper, once again, very comfortably deals with that. Can we just have the final whistle now, please, ref? Because I think we deserve the 3 points, and we get the 3 points. 2 wins in this episode gets us back up to 2nd in the league. That's more like it. That's where we want to be. When do we play Reyners Lane? Because that's starting to look like it's going to be quite an important match. That is the game we're going to be back for in the next episode. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.